Sorry, my computer's all discombobulated today. How is everybody doing? How is everybody's week? How is what are you doing this weekend? Welcome to another edition of Mels Mat Chat episode 247. How seriously this summer has gone too quickly. I don't know if I'm losing any flavor. Hopefully, I don't. Yeah, so this week, this summer's been nuts all summer. It's like already almost the end of July. We have August and then September, and then we're done with summer. Jeez Louise. But nevertheless, I'm going to be here. Programming notes. Next week, we are going to be covering um, the ROH pay-per-view, which is Death by Dishonor. So I'm going to be covering that. So next week you're going to get all the go home shows for AEW Dynamite on Sunday at 2 p.m. So I'm going to go live on 2 p.m. next Sunday. This weekend is going to be relaxing. I have to go visit my son this Saturday, so it's going to be really, really cool. I don't want to leave. I don't want to be here that long. I have a rest of my Friday that I want to get done and enjoy. And, I have to pack my son's bag for tomorrow. So I'm going to have to use a duffel bag. Oh my God. He has requested like pretty much the entire grocery store and Amazon Prime. Not a cheap plug either. But anyway, I just wanted to get that done. Please go check out the rest of my channel. You have the reviews of Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank, Double or Nothing, Forbidden Door, and In Your House, and much more. Go check that out. Please go and follow me on Twitter, which is Mels Mat Chat, as well as Instagram and TikTok. I'm also on Snapchat and Facebook. Also, please go check out the people over at Harry's Razors at harrys.com. Get all your toiletries and your beer, shaving essentials over there. Also, please go check out Maestro Classics for your beard essentials. maestroclassics.com, and you can get yourself hooked up with real good products for your beard. Also, please go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. Seriously, they have 3 cool flavors. They have mango orange, mixed berry, and lime. So go check that out. Also, please go check out Death Wish Coffee. They have 2 new brews. They have a blueberry vanilla coffee and an espresso. So go check that out. Go check that out at deathwishcoffee.com. Please go check out August 28th, High Intensity 8 at Terminal 5. We're going to have the in House of Glory. We're going to have the House of Black, Buddy Matthews, Brody King, and Malachi Black in the house. Also, don't forget, we're going to have Low Key versus fucking the People's Executioner, the Toll Man, the man himself, Killer fucking Cross. I'm there. I cannot wait. It'll be my first event that I will be going to. I just got to figure out how to get from where I live to Terminal 5. If anybody can give me some little, you know, some, how can I say, um, some clue how to get there, or I'm just going to just Google the damn thing anyway. So let's get to, Outbreak Wrestling. Don't forget to check them out on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So let's get this party started. We are going to be going into chronological order, meaning we're going to start off with SmackDown from last week. I should have had this out. SmackDown from July 8th, 2020. Tonight's SmackDown will feature a one-on-one match between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, where the winner will earn the right to challenge Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at Clash of the Castle. It should be interesting to see how things play out on tonight's show. SmackDown begins with the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns making his way out to the ring, accompanied by the Usos and Paul Heyman. Where is the honorary Us, Mr. Sami Zayn? No hide or no hair to him, because Roman Reigns would fucking goddamn put him on a spit and fucking have him for fucking a luau. As Roman Reigns poses in the ring, cameras show Mr. Money in the Bank Theory standing on top of the stage with the briefcase in hand. We come back. SmackDown continues live with Reigns in the ring with the mic in his hand. Reigns tells the Fort Worth crowd to acknowledge him, which they do. Reigns says when the tribal chief is in tow, business picks up. Reigns points out the concerned look Heyman has on his face and asks him to explain. Heyman takes the mic and tells Reigns that they have a problem. Brock Lesnar, Heyman says the problem is that Lesnar has one chance left, and that when the beast is backed into a corner, that is when he's the most powerful. Heyman says we need to see the most violent Roman Reigns if he wants to put down Lesnar for the 10 count in the final battle. The bloodline is interrupted by Theory's music hitting, where Theory runs to the ring, runs all the way around the ring and back up the ramp. And Theory holds the briefcase with a smile on his face. We go to commercial break, and the Viking Raiders versus Jinder Mahal and Shanky. The match begins with Ivar and Shanky in the ring before Mahal immediately makes the blind tag. Ivar slams Mahal to the corner and tags Eric as the two double team. Mahal in the corner with a series of strikes. Mahal hits a kick and goes to tag Shanky, who is not on the apron, as he dances on the floor. The Viking Raiders take advantage and double powerbomb Mahal, who is covered for the 3 count. Viking Raiders. Very fucking quick match. It was ridiculous. They had like 15 minutes of wrestling on SmackDown. Let's see if they could do more than 15 tonight. We go to a commercial break, and we come back with the Intercontinental Champion Gunther in the ring, set for an open challenge for his championship. Ludwig Kaiser tells the crowd that none of the fans in attendance are even worthy of seeing Gunther compete tonight. And Gunther says a challenger needed to earn his opportunity. The two are interrupted by Shinsuke Nakamura, who comes down to the ring and answers Gunther's challenge. Ludwig Kaiser to get in and see if Shinsuke earns it. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Ludwig Kaiser. The match begins with Nakamura taking Ludwig down with a series of quick strikes. Gunther causes a distraction, allowing Ludwig to take a cheap shot to gain momentum in his favor. We come back. The match continues with Nakamura hitting a drop kick. Nakamura follows with a kick to the back of the neck, and Insagiri Nakamura hits a running knee and covers for a 2 count. Nakamura hits the Kinshasa and covers for the 3. Shinsuke wins. So we're probably going to have Shinsuke Nakamura, former NXT champion, versus Gunther, versus former NXT UK champion. So it's going to be one dominant guy from NXT to another. We go to commercial, and we come back with the return with the new SmackDown Women's Champion Liv Morgan in the ring, being interviewed by Michael Cole. Morgan cashed in on an injured Ronda Rousey, who's likely won a rematch as soon as SummerSlam. Morgan welcomes the challenge and says it means everything to her to be champion. Morgan is interrupted by Natalya making her way out to the ring. Natalya says the only reason Morgan is champion is because of her. Natalya gets in Morgan's face in the ring when Ronda Rousey makes her way out to the ring. Rousey calls out Natalya, taking credit for injuring her. Natalya attacks Rousey behind her back, then Morgan throws Natalya out of the ring. We come back and we have Ronda Rousey versus Natalya again. SmackDown continues with an impromptu match beginning with Rousey. Rousey brings Natalya to the mat with a series of kicks. Rousey slams Natalya's knee off the ring apron, and Natalya rolls out of the ring, and Rousey chases after her. Rousey slams Natalya off the apron and locks in the ankle lock on the apron, breaking the hold at the count of 4. Rousey locks in the ankle in the middle of the ring. Natalya is forced to tap out. Ronda Rousey wins. We go to another commercial break. I swear to Jesus, they have more fucking commercials. I am tonight going to make sure. I am going to I can't time it, but I'm going to tally of how much fucking commercials we have in a fucking SmackDown. This is ridiculous. It's literal. I would like to know. It's probably only about an hour, less than an hour, 45 minutes of actual showtime. And they complain about the fucking bookings. And what I mean about complaining, meaning that they could have very easily make it a good show. So we come back, and Max Dupree ready to showcase the models in their tennis collection. And Max models Marseille and Mansois walk down the runway in their new tennis collection outfits. Another commercial break. Shayna Baszler and Shotzi versus Aaliyah and Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans makes her way out to the ring to a less than favorable reaction from the crowd. Evans says she's disgusted with the response she gets from the crowd. Evans says the crowd is jealous that nobody there could go through half of what she went through in her life. Evans calls her an American hero and demands the respect she has earned. Evans goes to leave the ring, and Aaliyah tries to stop her, and Evans hits Aaliyah with the woman's right. No wrestling match. Evans leaves the ring as scheduled tag team match apparently is not going to happen, with no word on if Baszler and Shotzi are even in the arena tonight. The Usos. We come back from the commercial break, and we have the Usos versus Los Lotharios. SmackDown returns live with our championship contenders match already underway. Humberto and Angel hit double kick to Jay Uso and go for a double dive to the outside, but stop to taunt the Usos on the outside. Jay Uso tags in Jimmy, and Jay teams up, hit a pop-up Samoan drop. Angel dives to the outside, and Jimmy hits with a super kick in midair. Jay hits Humberto with a super kick and tags in Jimmy. The Usos hit the 1D, and Jimmy covers for the 3. Winners, the Usos. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Before our main event begins, Sheamus begins to cut a promo, but interruptedly by repeated coughing. Sheamus says he cannot compete until he gets tested. So why would you use this as a fucking goddamn part of a storyline? COVID is contagious. Okay, so why he should have been in a hotel room stating that, oh, I don't feel very well, I'm getting tested for COVID, I can't be there, I'm quarantining, and sent out the what's his face, Rich Holland and Butch. People think, Jesus. Sheamus says instead of McIntyre will wrestle tonight against instead of McIntyre will wrestle against Butch. The match begins with Butch running right to McIntyre with a series of punches. Now, if this was an NXT Pete Dunne versus Drew McIntyre, take my motherfucking money here, okay? McIntyre hits a belly-to-belly throw. McIntyre hits the Glasgow kiss and counts down, but distracted by Rich Holland, allowing Butch to strike him from behind. McIntyre hits neck breaker, counts down, then hits the Claymore and covers for a 3 count. McIntyre wins. SmackDown ends with Drew McIntyre breaking the top rope while swinging his sword in an attempted murder. So that was it. That was like blinking of an eye. That was like, Jesus. I don't know what they were fucking rushing for. I mean, Jesus. Let's go to Rampage. Rampage was oh, I'm so itchy. It's stupid allergies. Rampage starts off with Bad King Eddie Kingston versus Konosuke Takeshita. We are kicking things off with a dream fight, said Excalibur. Kingston used a side headlock taken on Takeshita, but Takeshita scissored Eddie's head. Both men got their feet in a stalemate. Kingston grabbed Takeshita by the wrist, but Takeshita reversed it. And then Kingston countered. Takeshita backed Eddie into the ropes and took advantage of the moment. Eddie followed up with a gut-wrench suplex. Both men traded chops until Kingston thumbed Takeshita in the eyes. Takeshita fired elbow strikes in the corner, but Eddie answered with a headbutt. Takeshita used his speed to wallop Eddie with a lariat and followed with a blue thunder bomb for a near fall. Takeshita rocked Eddie with a German suplex on the ring apron. On the floor, Eddie sent Takeshita for a ride with an exploder suplex. Back in the ring, Kingston and Takeshita glided with a clothesline. Eddie hit a Liger bomb on Takeshita for a 2 count. The fans chanted, "This is awesome, this is awesome, this is awesome." Takeshita nailed Kingston with a sheer drop brainbuster for a near fall. Kingston on Kingston. Takashita changed levels and blasted Kingston with 4 arms, but Eddie retaliated with a half and half suplex. But Takashita came back with a lariat. Kingston used spinning back fist, fell on top of Takashita and scored the pin. We have Athena and Chris Statlander were backstage. They called the TBS champion Jade Cargill a coward, and they said they weren't going anywhere until they got their opportunity at the TBS championship. Lee Moriarty and the Ring of Honor world champion Jonathan Gresham versus the Gates of Agony, Toa Leona and Khan with Tully Blanchard. Caprice Coleman joined the commentary team for this match. Gates of Agony attacked the opposition before the bell rang. Gates of Agony used tandem offense to work over Lee Moriarty. Tully Blanchard had put together quite a team, said Tony Schiavone. Lee tried to make the tag to Gresham, but Gresham walked away to confront Tully. Jim questioned why Gresham would allow himself to be distracted while his teammate desperately needed a tag. They are absolutely torturing Lee Moriarty, said Excalibur. Moriarty used a low bridge and sent Gates of Agony spilling outside the ring. Lee went to make the tag, but Gresham turned his back and walked out on Lee Moriarty. Gresham hugged Tully, and now he's apparently with the in the camp of Tully Blanchard. Left alone, Lee tried to fend off Gates of Anarchy by himself. Khan hoisted up Lee and dropped him across his knees. Leona grabbed the pin. Kingston was backstage and said he was turning on full attention to Chris Jericho. I'm going to make you bleed because you made me a liar. And for what you did to my Ruby, I want Chris Jericho in barbed wire. Every drop of blood is a sin that you have committed. Ring of Honor Women's Champion Mercedes Martinez and Serena Deeb versus Kayla Spark and Christina Marie. Deeb suplexed Christina Marie and then swept out her legs. Deeb picked Christina apart piece by piece. Mercedes grabbed the tag and used a sliding knee strike on Christina Marie. Mercedes dropped Christina across the top rope, knocking the wind out of her. Deeb grabbed a blind tag and applied the Serenity Lock, forcing Christina Marie to tap out. Mercedes pushed Deeb off Christina Marie as Deeb wouldn't let go of the hold. Deeb rocked Mercedes with a clothesline, then put Mercedes in the Serenity Lock. This is clear that Deeb has her eyes on Martinez, said Excalibur. Tony Schiavone was backstage to interview ROH World Champion Jonathan Gresham and Tully Blanchard. Schiavone said Tony Khan announced that Lee Moriarty would get his title shot next week on Rampage. I don't know if you saw the same match we saw tonight, but Tully Blanchard is alive and well. And Tully Blanchard said Tully Blanchard as he shook hands with Gresham. So that faction is starting to take shape. We have Orange Cassidy versus Tony Nese. If Orange Cassidy loses, he has to sign Sterling's petition to get Swerve Strickland removed from the AEW roster. Nese charged in, but Orange Cassidy avoided contract. Nese grabbed Orange in a side headlock takeover. Nese hits the ropes with tremendous speed and knocked down Orange with a shoulder tackle. Orange rolled out of the way of the leg drop from Nese. Cassidy drop kicked Nese, taking Nese off his feet. Nese charged back and allowed Orange Cassidy, and back elbowed Orange Cassidy. Nice used a hammer uppercut and then kicked Cassidy. Nice followed up with a gutbuster for a near fall. I love this back and forth action. These guys are pro wrestlers, said Ross. Outside the ring, Sterling began to kick Orange Cassidy until Danhausen walked over, sending Sterling scurrying back in the ring. Nice grounded and pounded Cassidy. Next, Nice applied the body scissors. Orange escaped, but Nice followed up with a left strike to Orange. Nice blocked a DDT from Orange and countered with a Northern Lights suplex. That takes a lot of strength. That man checks so many boxes, said Ross of Nice. Nice applied pressure to Orange with multiple strikes in the corner. Nice elevated Orange to the top of the rope. Nice climbed up for a suplex attempt, but Orange hit Nice with a haymaker. Sterling jumped into the ring apron, but Danhausen confronted Sterling before Danhausen could curse Sterling. Nice hit a sliding dropkick. Back in the ring, Orange shocked Nice with the stun dog millionaire for a near fall. Nice ducked the orange punch and countered with a German suplex. Nice blasted Cassidy with a thrust kick to the side of the head for another near fall. Nice was looking for a pump handle slam, but Orange planted Nice with 2 DDTs. Orange hit a third DDT, this time off the top turnbuckle. 3 DDTs in a row, said Shivani. Sterling jumped back on the apron. Nice grabbed Orange from behind and dropped him with a pump handle slam for a near fall. Nice tried for a running knee, but Orange avoided it. While ref Aubrey Edwards, and I'm telling you, these fucking refs are morons, was distracted, Sterling jumped into the ring. Danhausen wiped out Sterling. Orange hit orange punch on Nice, knocking him from a flip and pinned Nice. So now he doesn't have to sign the stupid thing. All right, on to Monday Night Raw. We have news coming in from AEW. It's about the Briscoes. Major announcement. It's going to be in 30 minutes, and we'll probably be on here, so it's going to be like breaking news. So please stay tuned. Tonight, Raw will see the return of the Beast incarnate Brock Lesnar with a mammoth last man standing match with Roman Reigns looming. It will be interesting to see what Lesnar has to say tonight. And who knows, maybe Lesnar will actually wrestle a match on Raw for the first time in 20 years, minus a week. And if you can remember his opponent, sound off in my chat. As for the rest of the night, the United States champion Bobby Lashley will host an open challenge. Theory will face Riddle, and we're hearing rumblings of an angle where Alexa Bliss has her best friend Lily stolen. We can also expect to see Kevin Owens, Ezekiel, Seth Rollins, MVP, and Amos, the Street Profits, Becky Lynch, and the rest of the usual cast. This week, we open the show with the man of the hour, Brock Lesnar. And he walks out to a rapturous reception. The fans chant his name. Brock says, "Well, God bless Texas." He says after a reception like that, it would be rude for him to wear his cowboy hat, so he sets it on the ring post. Lesnar says Roman has been living like a king ever since WrestleMania. Pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. He says Roman is a hog, and he slaughters hogs on his farm every day. There goes the PETA people. Guarantee it. At SummerSlam, the tribal hog is going to get a country ass kicking, the likes of which he never has seen. He said, I think along the lines of shit kicking. As soon he fucking said shit kicking, Paul Heyman came out. It was like this. I don't know why. Paul Heyman comes out, and Brock Lesnar, speaking of hogs, the fans chanting, "You suck." Heyman tells them to stop that. Brock doesn't suck. Lesnar asks Heyman to actually say something. Heyman says, "We've gone from the most stupendous WrestleMania of all time to the most violent SummerSlam of all time. And that favors Lesnar." Why? Because Reigns defined his greatness by beating the opposition in athletic competitions. But him and Lesnar define his legacy by alienating people, conquering streaks, and ending careers. So if Brock has to put Reigns down for the count of 10, he's going to just do that. It won't matter if he puts him down in 10 seconds or puts him down for good. Heyman says Lesnar is not a man. He's a beast, a hog slayer, and an average avenging badass that wants revenge on his tribal chief. Heyman says, "We're approaching 700 days of Roman Reigns as Universal Champion. And this is one streak that Brock cannot conquer. He will endure. Roman is ready. If he has to train Reigns to stick his hand up Brock's ass to pull out his heart out of the hole, he will do it." Lesnar can't believe what Heyman said, but before he could speak, he's interrupted by Money in the Bank winner Theory. He stands on a platform near the stage and says SummerSlam is going to be the greatest night in WWE history. He's going to reclaim the United States Championship, then watch Brock and Roman destroy one another. Then he will walk down the ramp and place his boot on Brock or Roman's chest and become the youngest WWE champion in history. Lesnar says they can do it right now if he wants. Lesnar Theory says he doesn't care who wins because the two of them are suggesting they're going to kill each other. Theory then points to the footage from the Elimination Chamber match from February where Brock slammed Theory into the plexiglass before giving him an F5 off the top of one of the pods. Theory says that could be Roman Reigns, a heap of flesh, and he hasn't forgotten what Brock did to him. Now, if you checked out the video, which was ridiculous, they blocked out when Theory fell to the floor. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like the old Elimination Chamber. It wasn't bad at all. WWE's got to loosen the strings here. Speaking of that, after I do Raw, I'm going to give you my take on the now supposedly bogus claim that WWE is getting rid of PG era in Monday Night Raw. You're going to get my thoughts right after the run through of Raw. Alpha Academy suddenly walk out from near the announce desk and surround the ring. Brock says he rolls into town and suddenly the cockroaches come out of the woodwork. Lesnar takes his shirt off and Otis gets in the ring. Gable then hits a chop block from behind and Otis knocks Brock backwards into the corner. Lesnar laughs and takes Gable down with a clothesline, then sends Otis over the ropes. Lesnar goes out and lifts the steel steps. Then Otis and Gable hits Otis and Gable a few times. Lesnar then grabs a chair and beats them with it. Heyman looks horrified. Lesnar hits Gable with a belly to belly on the floor, then gives Otis an F5 through the announce desk. Lesnar laughs on as Theory and Heyman look more than a little annoyed. Lesnar grabs his cowboy hat and puts it back on. He gets in the ring and blows and bows for the fans. It seems the plan for tonight, Raw, have changed. Theory was supposed to face Riddle in a one-on-one match, but now it's a tag match with Bobby Lashley joining Riddle and Seth Rollins joining Theory. Also, Bianca Belair will defend her Raw Women's Championship in a rematch against Carmella. But up next, Rey Mysterio takes on Finn Balor of the Judgment Day. So we come back, the Mysterios are in the ring, and out comes Judgment Day. Damian Priest tells the fans to rise and show respect to them. He says that what happened to Rey and Dominic last week, getting beat down backstage, was justice. Priest says Rey is celebrating his 20th anniversary soon. It's time to face it. He's washed up. Priest tells Dominic has nothing left to offer him. He is tired, old man, doing circus tricks that aren't even his. This coming week, we're gonna have Raw be in Madison Square Garden, and we're gonna be celebrating his anniversary. The point is 20 fucking years. We're celebrating 20 years, and I'm still alive, and I can go back and I'm still a fucking adult. That's not cool, okay? Seriously. Priest says they have more to suffer. The future of the business will be decided by them, and he wants to join. The fans boo, and Priest says that doesn't matter. Damian should blaze his own trail and rise with the Judgment Day. To continue to fall alongside his father, Balor asks Dominic when is he going to learn. He says just Rey is a legend and doesn't mean he's going to protect him. Edge is a legend, and look what happened to him. We see a replay of Priest, Balor, and Ripley turning on Edge a month ago. Balor says Edge is gone for good because he was a bad leader, and Rey is a bad leader and a bad father. Rey attacks Finn, then him and Dominic double drop kick Priest out of the ring. They look to hit Balor with a 619, but Priest drags Balor out of the ring. This match is happening after the break. So we're back, and the match is already underway, with Balor beating Rey down in the ring. Balor applies a rear chinlock, then lifts Rey whips him into the buckles. Balor shoulders Rey back a few times, then lands a backbreaker for a 2 count. Balor makes it seem like he's going to hit the Three Amigos, but instead clubs Rey down with a forearm. Mysterio knocks Balor back and goes to the top rope, but Finn shoves his legs and falls down into a tree of woe. Balor then targets the leg and wraps it around the bottom rope until the count of 4. Balor kicks Rey out of the ring and goes out after him. Balor rolls Rey inside but turns to talk trash with Dominic, allowing Rey to hit a sliding sunset flip powerbomb from the ring to the barricade. We come back, both Rey and Balor are on the top rope. Mysterio hits Finn with a super Frankensteiner for a near fall. Rey hits Balor with an enziguri, causing Finn to land on the middle rope. Then hit a 619, then go to the top rope and jump for a splash, but Balor sits up and just avoids it. Balor mockingly taps his head and says he's smart. While he's bragging, Ray grabs Balor from behind and crucifix pins him and gets a near fall. Ray attempts a head scissors using the ropes for assistance, but Balor counters and slams Ray down for a near fall. Balor then lifts Ray and hits a 1916 before going to the top rope and landing a coup de grace and scoring the pin clean. So what's going to happen next week? We're going to have Dominic versus we're going to have Ray versus Damian Priest. Damian Priest is from New York. So this is going to be a fucking tricky situation. Do you give Ray the win because of his anniversary, or do you give the win to Priest? It's a fucking tricky situation. They should do the right thing. Ray should be putting over fucking Priest. So then after the match, Dominic gets into the ring to help his father. Priest and Balor hold their hands out to him, asking him to join. See, this is what pisses me off. We had Seth Rollins feuding with the Mysterios. Dominic should have fucking turned right then and there. I mean, I can then understand now turning with Damian Priest because he's got that Latin flair. But come on, make it make sense. You're going to not have him turn then, you're going to have him turn now. Oh, because of the players are different. Seth Rollins would have taken care of him. So they're going to right the wrongs that they did when he was in the, when he was with Seth Rollins in the, what is it? When he was the I can't think of it. Oh shit. When he was doing the profit shit. We come back from commercial. Becky Lynch comes down the ramp and stands on the announce desk. She says she was devastated when she didn't win the Money in the Bank, and she kind of lost her mind a little. But she's reasoned that the way Liv won the title is like winning the lottery. But she doesn't need the lottery because she works her ass off every week to earn her paycheck. Lynch continues that she dragged herself through a no-holds-bar match and won it. So she should have gotten the title match. Instead, Carmella got a second opportunity. As always, she's being made to jump through hoops to get what's rightfully hers. She doesn't give a damn who wins tonight because she's challenging the winner at SummerSlam. So we have the match, Carmella and Becky Lynch. Carmella and Bianca Belair. Becky Lynch is still at ringside for this match gets underway, and she looks furious. Belair scoops Carmella up and runs her into the buckles as the match gets underway. Carmella drops Bianca with a boot and then talks trash to her. Carmella hits the ropes, but Belair catches her with a shoulder tackle. Carmella rolls outside, and Belair follows her and slams her head into the desk, then argues with Becky. We're back. Carmella attempts a head scissors, but Belair counters with a sidewalk slam. Carmella goes through the top rope, counters with a sidewalk slam. Carmella goes to the top rope and catches Belair between her legs and hangs her upside down over the ropes to choke her. Carmella goes up top and hits a crossbody for a 2 count. Carmella drop kicks Belair from behind and she hits the buckles face first. Carmella chokes Bianca with her boot in the corner. Carmella goes to the top rope again and jumps for another crossbody, but this time Belair catches her, rolls through and hoists her up for a standing suplex. Belair shoulders Carmella in the corner. They both attempt roll-ups to no avail. Belair hits a glam slam, then looks for a standing moonsault, but Carmella gets her knees up. Carmella super kicks Bianca and covers up, but she kicks out in time. Carmella lines up another super kick, but Belair blocks it. Belair slams Carmella into the buckles, then lifts her up for the kiss of death, but Bella grabs the ropes to prevent it. Carmella then counters the KOD with an X Factor for a near fall. Carmella attacks Belair in the corner, but Belair fights her off and wants a power bomb, but Carmella gets out of it. Belair clotheslines Carmella, then lands some stiff forearm shots in the back. Belair hits a spinebuster for a near fall, but gets sent out to the ring. Belair trips Carmella on the apron and then goes to the top rope, but Mella rolls out of the ring. Belair goes after and wants a suplex, but Carmella rakes her eyes. Belair shoves Carmella into the ring post, then gets her back in the ring around the count of 7. Belair looks to get back in the ring, but Becky Lynch runs around and distracts her. Belair and Becky talk trash. The referee counts Belair out. So Carmella wins via count out. After the match, Lynch leaves laughing. Belair gets in the ring and Carmella grabs the Raw Women's Championship. Belair grabs her and hits the KOD and takes her belt back. We're back from a commercial break. The Miz and Tommaso Ciampa make their way to the ring for a new episode of Miz TV. The Miz welcomes us to the show and says his guest is a man who has remorseless attacked several superstars since his debut, including AJ Styles. Of course, his guest is Ciampa, no Tommaso. The Miz says Miz asks what his goal is. I want everybody to go back to SmackDown, November 1st, 2019. Make it make sense, WWE. So the Miz had no problem losing to an NXT superstar, but then now teaming up with him. I would be getting my revenge on him. That's just me. Ciampa says he wants the eyes of the world on him, and nobody commands the attention of the people more than The Miz. The Miz says he's certainly in the right place. He guided a social media icon to becoming a successful WWE superstar. He handed him everything on a silver platter. And did he thank him? No. He posted a video on social media saying he's coming for him. Miz says he knows what Logan is doing. He's stirring the controversy. He understands, so the offer still stands. They can become WWE Tag Team Champions, but if he doesn't, he's going to find another partner, and he doesn't think he's going to have to look very far. The Miz turns back to Ciampa and says they're going to show AJ Styles how phenomenal they are. So AJ Styles is getting this. Great. Just fucking great. AJ Styles comes out and tells him to shut up. He said he keeps getting attacked from behind by Miz and Ciampa. It seems like Miz has found himself someone to do his dirty work for him. And that isn't brave. He sounds like the actions of a man with the Miz, gets angry and tells him to stop. Small balls, basically. AJ asked him to finish and say their actions are coward with tiny, tiny balls. Ciampa tries to attack AJ, but sends them both out of the ring. Then wrecks the Miz TV set. Ezekiel comes out and introduces himself to AJ, saying Elias told him just how good AJ is. Ezekiel says Elias was also insistent that Miz has tiny balls. Ezekiel says he talked to Adam Pearce and he got this turned into a tag team match if AJ accepts. The crowd wanted and Styles shakes his hand. I am keeping an eye on this big announcement, so it's still coming. AJ Styles and Ezekiel versus The Miz and Ciampa. The match begins with Ciampa and Ezekiel, and Zeke lands a shoulder tackle. Ciampa fires back with some chops in the corner, but Ezekiel lands some of his own. Ciampa kicks Zeke in the face and makes a tag to Miz, but Ezekiel immediately goes to the offense and tags Styles. AJ stays in control of the Miz and drops him. Styles beats him into the corner and tags Ezekiel in. Ciampa gets a tag and counters Ezekiel to gain the upper hand. Ciampa beats Zeke to the apron, then connects with a running knee to knock him off. Ciampa goes out and runs Ezekiel into the barricade and sits on the apron and pats himself on the back. Remember this? Yeah. It's not so cool anymore. Ciampa gets Ezekiel in the ring, then throws him back out and tags Miz. The Miz slams Ezekiel into the announce desk as we head to the break. Ciampa is still in control when we come back from commercial of Ezekiel and applies a tight side headlock. Ezekiel fights up, but Ciampa hits a roll up for a 2 count. Ezekiel then catches Ciampa with a knee, and both men are down. Tags made to The Miz and AJ Styles. Runs rush shot over Miz with forearms and kicks, then hits a splash in the corner and gut buster for near fall. Styles lifts Miz up, but he slides off. AJ rolls him up for a 2 count, but Ciampa distracts Styles and Miz lands a snap DDT for a near fall. Miz wants a skull-crushing finale, but AJ slides off and slams him, but Ciampa breaks it up. Ezekiel tosses Ciampa out and throws him into the announce desk. Miz kicks Ezekiel away, but AJ grabs him with a calf crusher. Ciampa stops the submission and won't stop beating AJ, so the referee calls for the bell. Via disqualification, Ezekiel and Styles picks up the win. After the match, Miz and Ciampa roll from the ring to regroup, but Styles dives over the ropes and wipes Ciampa out with a phenomenal forearm. Riddle joins Bobby Lashley backstage, says they're going to be an awesome team tonight. Riddle suggests that after the show they can watch Stranger Things together because Venica freaks him out. Lashley says he's already watched it, but they'll kick some ass tonight regardless. Back from commercial break, Alexa Bliss and Asuka versus Doudrop and Nikki ASH. Asuka and Nikki kick things off with a lockup. Man, I would love to go back to NXT with these two in the last woman standing match. OM fucking G. That was a good fucking match. Which I thought that Asuka was going to drop the title. That's how good it was. With a lockup, and Nikki slams her down. Asuka gets up and shouts at Nikki, then hits a shoulder tackle. Bliss tags in and hits Nikki with double knees to the gut. Then Doudrop tags in along the levels her with a body attack. Doudrop stays on top of Alexa for a moment, then tags Nikki. Nikki grabs a submission. Bliss fights up and drops Nikki with a clothesline. Doudrop and Asuka tag in. and the Empress unloads with a series of kicks and spinning back fists. Doudrop whips Asuka in the corner, but she counters with a springboard drop kick. Nikki tags in and jumps at Asuka, but eats a knee to the face. Asuka knocks Doudrop off the apron, then hits a sliding knee to ASH for a near fall. Bliss tags in Doudrop, drags Asuka out of the ring. She looks for a running senton on the floor, but Asuka rolls out of the way and she lands flat on her back. Inside the ring, Bliss counters Nikki and lands a DDT to score a pinfall. Bliss and Asuka pick up the victory. Come back, the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, the Uso, make their way down to the ring. Jay says the bloodline is in Texas, and once again, they're out here saying what they do. Red brand got that. Blue brand got that too. They own everything so they can show up whenever they want. The Street Profits are crying and whining about the money in the bank, but it will be the same result at SummerSlam because they're the twos and the Usos are the ones. The Street Profits come out to interrupt Dawkins. Dawkins says the Usos hit them with everything they had, but Ford's shoulder was still up. Ford gets in Jay's face and says at SummerSlam they're going to take the tag titles because they're there and they want the smoke. But Truth comes out and says it doesn't have to be like this. They need to calm down. Truth says he is a divorce attorney, wedding officiant, and even can fly a Top Gun airplane. But he's also a bona fide tag team counselor. The Usos say he wears a lot of hats, but unless he's got a referee shirt underneath, he can't get the hell out of the ring. Truth pulls out another page. He reveals he's indeed a referee. He pulls the shirt off and he is wearing a referee shirt underneath. As long as we didn't get the 24/7 championship, that's all I care about. I'm fine with this. Truth then displays some of his skills, like counting somebody out, sliding to make a pin, etc. Truth keeps going until Jimmy tells him to shut up and take his clown ass to the back. Truth gets offended and asks the crowd, want to see his clown ass fight? Truth then takes the referee shirt off and says he'll fight both of them right now, with the Street Profits, of course. Amos and MVP come out and interrupt MVP. MVP says, why not allow the Nigerian giant be the special guest referee at SummerSlam? Truth says Amos can't even count to 10, but MVP says Truth can't either. MVP says he thought Amos could join this match tonight and showcase his ability to the bloodline. The Truth remembers the Alamo. Then everyone starts brawling. The Profits get knocked out of the ring and Truth gets laid out. So we have R-Truth and the Street Profits versus the Usos and Amos. Amos starts with Dawkins and drops him with a shoulder tackle. Jay tags in with Ford and eats some shots. Truth tags in and uppercuts Jay. But Amos gets the tag and chops Truth in the corner. Amos clubs Truth and tags Jay in for some stomps and body slams. Jay tags in next, but Ford and Dawkins come in and drop both Usos with drop kicks. Truth rushes in and knocks Amos off the apron with a drop kick. Then Montez and Dawkins dive over the ropes onto the Usos, although Angelo totally missed. Truth then dives over the ropes onto Amos, but gets caught and slammed on the apron. Amos then runs over Truth with a body tackle at ringside before roaring. Amos is we come back, we have Amos wailing on Truth, then we return. He chokes him on the middle rope and tags Jay. Truth ducks a clothesline and drops Jay with a hail kick. Ford and Jimmy get the tags, and Montez lands some lariats and a flurry of kicks, followed by a running blockbuster and a standing moonsault. Jimmy rolls outside, and Ford wants to dive over the ropes, but Amos grabs him. Dawkins pulls Amos off the apron. Then he and Ford run Amos into the barricades. The Prophets isolate Jimmy and hit a double team electric chair spinning elbow for a near fall. Jay runs and sends Ford to the outside, but Truth then drops him. Truth wants a 5-knuckle shuffle, but Amos drags him from the ring and sends him into the steel steps. Amos gets inside, clears house, hitting choke bomb to Jimmy for the win. So the Usos and Amos win. That's how it should be. Seth Rollins is interviewed backstage. He says he feels great because it's Monday night and it's main event time, which means it's Seth Rollins time. He says everyone is concerned with Ezekiel's identity, but he doesn't give a damn. He wants to know who the hell Riddle thinks he is. Is he someone who thinks on a higher plane, or he is a moron? Randy Orton took pity on him. Theory appears and asks Rollins for advice how to cash in the Money in the Bank. Seth says he came to the right place and walks off with him. So we're going to avoid, and we're going to not even acknowledge that Theory and Seth were teammates, stablemates, in the greater good. I finally fucking remembered it. Ooh, I hate when that happens, but I got it anyway. Better late than never. My nudge. We come back from commercial break. We see video of Logan Paul just posted in which he says The Miz is delusional. Clearly, he's not getting it through his thick skull. So he's coming to Raw next week. When he meets him, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, everybody's going to be coming out of the woodwork because they're going to Madison Square Garden. They're going to need to sell out that arena because it's expensive. You're going to pay for the price. It's like you going it's like you go and buy a thing of pickles. You got the one that you're used to, and then you got the one that you used to, but it's in the store brand. So you always buy the name brand because you think it's going to be better, but you're going to be paying through the nose. So you get the store brand, and it's the same thing. Make it make sense, Seth Rollins and Theory versus Bobby Lashley and Riddle. The main event gets underway with Riddle and Theory, and Mr. Money in the Bank lands a kick to the gut. Theory backs Riddle into the corner and punches him down, then tags Rollins and beats on him also. Theory tags back in, and Rollins holds Riddle so he can club his ribs over and over. Theory wastes time showboating, and Riddle hits him with a tie kick in the corner. Lashley tags in and shoulder tackles Theory in the corner. Theory scrambles to his corner and tags Rollins, but Lashley slams him. Riddle tags in Lashley, assists him with a floating bro. Lashley tags back in and beats Rollins in the corner, then lifts him for a suplex, but Seth knees him and bails from the ring. Lashley goes after and runs Rollins into the ring post. Suddenly, Dolph Ziggler's music hits and he walks down the ramp in a suit. Like, oh, I forgot that I was supposed to be out on ringside type situation. It was fucking weird. So we come back. Ziggler is sat ringside watching the match. Riddle is isolated in the corner but starts firing back with elbows and knocks Theory off the ring apron. Riddle goes up top for a floating bro, but Rollins jumped up and hit him with a super reverse suplex for a new near fall. Rollins snaps Riddle and mocks him, so Riddle starts firing back with chops and kicks. Rollins catches Riddle with a sleeper and transition to a front face lock. Riddle escapes with a Pele kick. Theory tags in and rolls through the ropes towards Riddle, but gets caught with a rolling armbar. Theory climbs to his feet with Riddle on his back and jumps on his back to get him off. Tags are made to Lashley and Rollins. All the Almighty is like a bat out of hell with clotheslines and a belly to belly suplex. Rollins countered a Dominator and jumps at Lashley, but gets hit with a power slam. Theory returns with a forearm, but Lashley hits a spine buster. Rollins with a forearm to the back of the head, then goes up top for a frog splash and near fall. Riddle and Theory tags in, and Riddle lands clotheslines and a snap power slam. Riddle connects with a draping DDT, then readies himself for an RKO. Rollins drags Theory from the ring, but Lashley then spears Seth through the barricade. Riddle grabs Theory, but gets snapped on the top rope. Theory wants in the ATD, but Riddle escapes. Riddle wants an RKO, but Theory rolls him up and puts his feet on the rope. Ziggler shoves Theory's feet off the rope, then Riddle hits an RKO for the win. So we have Bobby Lashley and Riddle for the win. After the match, Riddle and Lashley walk up the ramp together. Lashley then hits Riddle on the chest and collapses. Lashley picks him back up and laughs. Theory just reaches his feet, then Ziggler I tapped something and now I lost my place. Sorry. Theory just reached his feet then when Ziggler slides into the ring and drops him with a super kick. Ziggler stands over Theory to close the show. You know what I do? I would have Theory and Ziggler go one-on-one, Money in the Bank briefcase up for grabs. And Ziggler needs to have that. He has just as much time as fucking John Cena and so on and so forth. He needs to have this. I am going to check Twitter to see what the fuck is going on with this announcement. I have to go and check Ring of Honor. Hopefully I can ROH where the hell there it is. Still nothing. Let's move on to NXT. We go to this week. NXT opens with some highlights from the Great American Bash show last week, where Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez became NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Carmelo Hayes overcame Grayson Waller to hold on to the North American Championship. Tiffany Stratton bested Wendy Chu, and Braun Breaker retained the NXT Championship over Cameron Grimes. The camera rushes outside the arena where Roxanne Perez is down on the ground and Cora Jade is calling for help. Officials rush over to help, and Jade is in the a lot of pain in the parking lot. We go to the first match. It's Apollo Crews versus Giovanni Vinci. The bell rings, they lock up and struggles for control. Vinci takes Crews down with a rolling ankle kick, then goes to a front face lock. Crews takes a side headlock, but Vinci quickly turns him over. Crews shoves Vinci off, and Giovanni attempts a shoulder tackle, but Crews doesn't budge. Vinci chops the chest, then hits the ropes, ducks some clotheslines, and lands a shoulder barge that doesn't knock him off his feet. Crews eats some drop kicks, but then does some quick ducking and leapfrogs before connecting with a drop kick. Crews gets whipped into the corner, but kicks Vinci away and follows up with a blockbuster for a 2 count. Vinci throws Apollo out of the ring, then goes out and beats him against the barricade. We come back live. Apollo is in a front face lock, but throws Vinci up in the air, then trades punches and chops. Then Vinci attempts a springboard crossbody, but Apollo catches him with a dropkick in midair. They both slowly get up, and Crews avoids the splash in the corner and connects with an enziguri. Crews splashes Vinci and avoids him and hits a trifecta of German suplexes for a near fall. Vinci blocks a kick from Apollo and takes him down with a clothesline. The referee checks on Apollo and makes Vinci back off. Then Giovanna lifts him anyway. Crews kicks him away and goes to the middle rope and jumps for a cannonball, but Vinci catches him by the head and turns into a suplex. Crews kicks out, but then starts a fight back and hits Vinci with a release power bomb. Both men fall, and Crews tries to make a pin, but Vinci rolls from the ring. A fan takes a picture of Vinci as he's struggling, so Giovanni rips the phone away from him. Crews gets Vinci back in the ring, but Zion Quinn comes out of the crowd and clocks Apollo with a forearm. Vinci hits Apollo with a sit-out powerbomb for the win. Giovanna Vinci picks up the win. Cora Jade is interviewed backstage. She says she doesn't have an update on Roxanne Perez. She knew something like this was going to happen. It has toxic attraction written all over it. They're scared that their reign of terror is coming to an end. She says she hopes Perez can pull through and compete tonight because otherwise there will be hell to pay. Back from commercial. Earlier today, Tiffany Stratton was getting her nails done in a salon. She says she needed this manicure after that disgusting match with Wendy Chu at the Great American Bash. But as always, she overcame that overgrown child. Now it's time to leave eye candy behind and watch who wins the NXT Women's Championship. Cameron Grimes makes his way to the ring looking depressed. Grimes says he wishes he had an excuse he can give the fans, but he can't. He came in the best shape of his life. He had the opportunities. He even hit the cave in, but the 3 count never came. He learned you could do everything the right way and it still won't be good enough. But that's life. Last month he lost the North American Championship, then focused all of his attention on Braun Breaker. He failed at that, too. It seems he's destined to be a loser. He thought it was going to be going to the moon, but crashed into the sun. So out came J.D. McDonald comes out. He says he hates to kick a guy when he's down, but McDonough says he saw the match last week and Grimes has nothing to be ashamed of. But how about they wrap this little pity party up and he could go mope in the back? He hates to break it to him, but about 60 seconds after Grimes lost, he was old news. He fooled everyone when he came out last week, and everything changed when the Irish Ace walked through the door. So he changes his name, but he keeps the moniker. Make this make sense, please. Please, people. Give me the fucking reasons why they do this. Grimes says we all know who he is, but he is not an Irish ass. He's an Irish asshole. The fans start cheering the slurs at McDonald. Then he headbutts Grimes. Grimes stumbles into the ropes and comes back with a right hand. Grimes swings for him, but McDonald bails from the ring and stare each other down. Diamond Mine is backstage watching their match from last week. Damon Kemp thanks the Creed brothers for going through the footage with him and pointing out where he went wrong. Kemp says he'd love to run it back someday, and the Creeds agree. They leave, and Roderick Strong walks in. He says he can't believe what he just heard. He says Kemp is the reason why they lost last week, and he needs to be taught a lesson. Next week, they're going one-on-one. Grace Strong just asked for his release after he fucking goddamn resigned. Hello, why did you do that? You could have been with your fucking brothers in AEW, being in the Undisputed Elite. But you do this. Please. I understand you have a kid, but you could have fucking... Marita was already a contract employee there. You would have been fine. We come back from commercial break. Grayson Waller is interviewed backstage. He says if last week's match was based on points, he was beating Carmelo Hayes until Wesley got involved. He ruined his moment. Waller knows Lee's life sucks, but it's going to get worse. Tatum Paxley versus Kaden Carter with Katana Chance at ringside. They lock up. Paxley takes Carter down via the arm. Carter fights up and drops Paxley, then connects with a springboard dropkick for a 2 count. Carter stomps Paxley's head and then hits a basement dropkick that knocks her out of the ring. Ivy Niles walks out to check on Paxley and give her some advice. Paxley gets back in and clubs Kaden with a right hand. Paxley avoids a splash in the corner and lands a drop kick. Paxley ducks Carter and hits a drop kick. Paxley hits a standing spinning moonsault. Paxley lands some punches in the corner. She swings a kick, but Kaden catches it and flips her over and lands on her feet. Carter connects with a nice rolling inverted figure four. Paxley reaches the ropes, then rolls up Carter for the win. So Paxley picks up the win. The Schism for Joe Gacy and the Dyad are backstage in a smoky abyss. Talking about pun, no pardon pun here. Gacy says they reached a breakthrough. His men are willing to unveil their true selves next week because they can't wrestle with fucking hoods. Duh. And everyone will see that they too can join the cause. I think they're repackaging the Grizzly Young Veterans and they changed their names. For some reason, I don't know why, but you know Vince, they need to be owning those names. Senga is backstage watching a replay of him hitting a cannonball splash into the pool, drenching Duke Hudson. He laughs with two girls. Then Hudson walks up and throws the laptop. He says he spent all week getting the water out of his ear and he wants a piece of Senga. The big man is more than happy to oblige. We come back from a commercial break. Jensen and Fallon are in a bar drinking. Pretty Deadly walk in doing their best impression of American cowboys. Brooks and Jensen say that they're in the wrong place, and Pretty Deadly say, unfortunately, they're not. They're here for the UK tag team titles. Briggs and Jensen say they'll have a good old-fashioned bar fight, but Fallon gets on the bar and yells, they're not wrecking her bar. They could settle it in the ring next week, and Pretty Deadly agrees. Senga versus Duke Hudson. Hudson shoves Senga, but gets shoved right back and falls over. Duke rushes Senga into the corner and tries to Irish whip him, but can't. Senga splashes Hudson, hits Snake Eyes, and then connects with a shoulder tackle, and Hudson rolls from the ring. Duke pulls Senga by the beard and punches him, then hits a chop block. Senga starts fighting back and splashes Hudson in the corner, then hits a big sidewalk slam. Senga adjusts his mustache, then delivers an elbow drop. Senga gets him up on the shoulders, but Duke slides off and hits a boot. Hudson hits another boot, but Senga then grabs him by the throat, yells at him, and hits a choke slam for the win. Senga wins. Robert Stone, Sophia Cromwell, and Von Wagner are backstage. Stone said Solo Sikoa has no idea what he got himself into. Wagner could have been a professional basketball player, but he chose football. He had an arm like a cannon, and Wagner tells him to shut up. He says he doesn't matter if he's on the field, on the streets, or in the ring. He's going to kick Sikoa's ass. Solo then shown getting ready, and he says Wagner is a bad man. He knows that, but it's put up or shut up. Toxic Attraction interviewed backstage, and Mandy denies they attacked Roxanne Perez earlier today. Dolan says it would be a real shame if she couldn't compete tonight or for a while. Says Jane, says NXT needs fighting champions. So Perez and Jade should just hand them the titles back. She says Jade and Perez will soon learn that when you're champion, everything falls into place. Solo Sikoa comes to the ring for his match. Von Wagner is out next, but Sikoa meets him on the ramp. They throw hands. Sikoa sends Wagner into the apron and the ring post, then gets him back in the ring. So the match begins in earnest, and They start off with some shoving and lockup to try to gain control. Sequoia eventually connects with a shoulder tackle and body slam, then a running splash for a 2 count. Solo hits a senton and Wagner bails from him from the ring to regroup with Stone. We come back and Von Wagner was has control of Sequoia with a submission. Sequoia fights up with elbows, then ducks a clothesline but gets caught with a big boot. Wagner lands some mounted punches, then chokes Sola on the middle rope with his knee. Wagner whips up to the Sequoia to the corner and lands a splash. Wagner attempts another splash, but Solo avoids it, then hits a back suplex. Sequoia connects with some chops and uppercuts, then shrugs off a kick and lands a Samoan drop. Sequoia knocks Wagner down in the corner and follows up with a hip attack. Wagner rolls outside and Solo goes after him, but gets hit in the gut, then slams into the announce desk. Sequoia isn't phased, and the two of them roll around the ring, then up the ramp until they get counted out. So it's a double count out. I'm gonna take a pause from here, and I'm gonna try to find out what the heck is going on with this breaking news. Tony Khan, breaking news. Next Saturday, the 22nd, at Death Before Dishonor, 2 out of 3 falls, and that's the big announcement. It's going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match. FTR, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions versus the Briscoes. So it's going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match. I wanted to know now, it's a breaking news situation. I love doing this shit. Love it, love it, love it, love it. We see Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams out partying on the streets with some ladies. Hayes brags about beating Grayson Waller, then praises Trick for his victory over Wesley. Hayes suggests taking their ladies to the Penthouse, a roof bar where they dance and drink champagne. Hayes makes Trick join him to look out over the city and says the two of them are like Kobe and Shaq. They're the dream team taking over NXT. Lash Legend is dribbling a basketball backstage. She says Indy Hartwell thinks she's athletic, but she holds nothing to her. She's going to bounce Indy's head like she does a basketball. She walks off and we see Alba fire baseball bats stop the basketball from rolling. Do you see they changed the color from black to red? God forbid it looks like Sting's bat, God forbid things look the same, We come back. Chase University is in London for a field trip. Andre Chase, Bodie Hayward, and Thea Hall are sightseeing and continuing to envoy Bodie. Chase lies to Hayward, telling him Chase U has a wing at Buckingham Palace dedicated to them. He's going to be knighted. He's back in the classroom giving a presentation on the trip. He gets angry. Then someone says they're the 7th best school. Indy Hartwell versus Lash Legend. The match starts with a lockup, then try to push each other backwards. Legend slams Hartwell down face first. Hartwell counters Lash and attempts a roll up, but Legend holds the ropes. Hartwell connects with a forearm. Then Legend tumbles out of the ring. Legend gets back in and hits a cheap shot, then takes control of the match. Legend hits Hartwell up into a suplex, then drops her onto the top rope, then pulls the ropes to flip Indy back into the mat. Legend then applies a unique submission and attempts to use the ropes to hurt her head, but it looks ridiculous. Hartwell starts fighting back, but Legend trips her face first into the middle turnbuckles. Legend lifts her onto the top rope, but then Alberfi appears on the platform above the fans holding her basketball. Indy uses a distraction to drop Legend, then attempts a springboard elbow drop, but completely fails on her face. Then they go to a very awkward pin, and Hartwell wins and quickly leads. So Indy wins. After the match, Alba Fire comes down to the ring and gets behind Legend. She tries to hit her but with her bat, but Legend runs out of the ring. Fire goes after, swings for her a few times, but Lash gets away. A few known lesser female stars are backstage talking about who may have attacked Roxanne Perez. Then Wagner and Sequoia bust into the room and they're still brawling. Wagner throws Sequoia into the wall, then does the same thing, all while officials try to separate them. Um, those things are done better by Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Just saying. The D'Angelo family is backstage for an interview, and Mackenzie asks if they attacked Perez. Elektra is annoyed at the accusation, but Mackenzie says they have a history of attacking people outside the CWC. D'Angelo says he didn't order any attacks, so it wasn't his family. He continues that Elektra has been a fantastic addition to the family, but he needs to know where Wild and Del Toro stand. And they're going to find out right now. We come back. Solo, Sequoia, and Von Wagner are brawling outside the arena, slamming each other into garage doors. Officials pull them apart, and Sophia Cromwell tries to talk to Von Wagner down. Robert Stone gets in Sequoia's face and yells at him until Sequoia grabs him and throws him into a dumpster. Idris Enefi and Malik Blade versus Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo. The match starts with Enefi and Stacks, and they lock up. They struggle for control, and Enefi gets the upper hand and connects with a dropkick before tagging Blade. He kicks him and grabs a wrist lock before tagging Enefi back in. Enefi is sent to the corner and attempts to leap over Stacks, but eats a kick to the gut. D'Angelo tags in and starts working over Enefi with big right hands to the gut and hits a double underhook suplex. Stacks tags in and grabs a sleeper, but eventually Enefi fights free and tags Malik. Blade lands some clotheslines, a dropkick, and a clothesline against the rope. Blade connects with a leg drop and slams for a 2 count. On the outside, D'Angelo runs Enefi into the steel steps. Stacks tries to take advantage of the distraction with a small package, but Blade kicks out. Blade runs at Stacks in the corner, but gets through up in the lands face first on the turnbuckle. Stacks then tags in D'Angelo, and he hits a swinging neck breaker for the win. So D'Angelo and Stacks pick up the win. After the match, Tony tells Wild and Del Toro to attack Blade. They are reluctant, eventually give in and stop a mud hole in them. Nikita Lyons is backstage and being interviewed. She says people keep suggesting she attacked Roxanne earlier today. Yeah, she thinks she would have won the breakout tournament if she hadn't been injured, but she's not that kind of woman that puts others down to build herself up. She's happily to put her gear and challenge Mandy for the NXT Women's Championship right now, but not at the expense of Perez. We come back and we see a vignette for a new superstar, Adam, who wears a mask and says he uses superheroes as his influence. He'll make his debut next week. Also, Pretty Deadly challenges Brooks and Jensen for the NXT UK Tag Team titles. Toxic Attraction do come to the ring, and the fans chant Mandy. She says it's been long enough. Obviously, Roxanne isn't woman enough to challenge her tonight. What a shock, but doesn't blame her because nobody can beat her. She runs NXT, and that's not going to change. Sweetie, if you weren't looking the way you were looking, and this was the old NXT, you would be a jobber. Cora Jade comes out and says Mandy can shut the hell up. Her night isn't over. The fans were promised a title match, and that's what they're going to get. She'll step up and take the title from her. Rose says this is the funniest thing she heard all night. Roxanne Perez then comes down to the ring holding her ribs, and Jade tries to talk her out of it, but she's adamant she can do it. So the match gets underway, and Perez rushes Rose and lands a fury of punches. Rose punches her taped ribs and collapses. Rose then hits a fallaway slam. Then Perez cries out. Rose connects with a knee to the ribs, and the fans are firmly behind her. Perez tries to fight back, but Rose lifts her up and drops her gut first on the top rope. Perez tumbles out of the ring to the floor, and Mandy goes out after her. Rose runs her into the apron, and Roxanne screams. Perez begs her to stop, but Rose instead runs her into it again. Rose gets back in the ring and poses, and the fans are beginning to boo. Perez is in agony on the floor, and we head to the final commercial of the night. We return to find champion still firm in control of the challenger. Rose has an abdominal stretch applied, but Perez slings her off, only to get caught with a spine buster, Triple H style. Rose then delivers a knee to the ribs, then applies a body scissor. Perez fights free, but Mandy scoops her up and runs into her. The buckles for some shoulder tackles. Perez with a roll up for a 2 count, then Mandy with a yet another knee to the gut. Rose whips her to the corner and runs, but eats a knee. Perez goes to the middle rope and hits a flying crossbody. Both women are down, and the fans are getting behind the challenger. Perez lands some right hands and flying axe handles, then a running European uppercut. Roxanne hits a tilt-a-whirl Russian leg sweep for a near fall. She looks for pop rocks, but Rose throws her off. Rose runs at her but gets thrown out of the ring. Perez hits a suicide dive. Jade runs at Perez but misses and hits the ring post. Dolan runs at her, but Perez hits her with some kicks and sends her into the barricade. Perez grabs Mandy and hits pop rocks on the floor. Jade comes over and tries to help Perez get Mandy back in the ring. JCJ gets on the rope on the apron and distracts the referee, but Perez gingerly climbs onto the apron. Cora Jade hits her in the back with the tag team title belt. Perez looks at her stunned, but Mandy then connects with a running knee to score the pinfall and retain the title. So then after the match, Toxic Attraction looks shocked but happy to leave with the NXT Women's Championship. Cora gets in the ring and kneels beside Perez. She said she brought Perez to NXT, and this is how she repays her. She's selfish. Jade shoves Perez in the face and breaks her with a skateboard over her back. Jade screams, "I brought you here. I made you," and beats Roxanne with the skateboard as we go off the air. She had a broken skateboard. She had a fucking broken skateboard. So do we really believe that this? No. Um, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the PG situation. I'm not going to wait till the end. I meant to do it at the end of Raw. Well, supposedly now they jumped the gun. So Alvarez kind of shot his load a little too early. So we're going to find out everything on Monday. In my opinion, if they're going to do something like this, they should do it after SummerSlam on August 1st. Which is August 1st. Yeah, August 1st is uh, on a Monday. I had to just think about it. I have 2 birthday parties at the end of this fucking month between my uncle who's turning 60 and my grandmother that's turning 80. She will already be 80 by the time we do this party, which is her birthday is on Wednesday. And I want to freaking wring my own neck because I'm so super stressed right now. I have a lot going on. And now this is a good thing, not a bad thing. So we are I'm going to be probably doing preview and predictions um differently this year. Because of the simple fact the reason is because I have to I'm going to be dealing with family and everything like that, but I will be watching SummerSlam without a doubt. I won't be doing the review until probably Sunday night or maybe Sunday. No, I'm not. Yeah, to Sunday night. So that is that. I hate when that happens. So last but not least, Dynamite. The episode came from Savannah, Georgia at the E-Mark Arena. And it's the night one of Fighter Fest. It's going to be a 4-part thing. It's going to be this week and the following week. So we start off with the TNT Championship. Orange Cassidy versus Wardlow. Okay. I gotta fix my chair for this. Okay. Here we go. I am telling you, Mr. Wardlow, you have got to be into some fucking freaky shit at home. There is absolutely no fucking way that you're not. And if you are, we need to know about it as fans. We need to know that. We need to make sure that you're not going to jeopardize yourself and risk possibly gaining an injury so that you can't defend your title. So we need to know these things. Come on, make a video. You know what to do. So looks like Wardlow is going to have a team to deal with tonight, said Excalibur, referring to Orange Cassidy and Best Friends. Wardlow always said he wanted to be a fighting champion, said Tony Schiavone. Orange Cassidy wanted to begin with a Greco-Roman knuckle lock, but placed his hands in his pockets. Instead of Wardlow tore the pockets out of Orange's pants. I don't know if we're ever going to see that again, if we ever see that before or see that again, said Taz. Cassidy avoided a lariat and followed up with a head scissors, but Wardlow cartwheeled out of it. Chuck Taylor tried to pass a chainsaw into the ring, but ref Bryce Remsburg intercepted it, catching the best friends red-handed. He ejected them from ringside area. Orange tried for the orange punch, but Wardlow caught it. Wardlow stalked Orange Cassidy around the ringside area, trying to use his quickness to force Wardlow into a mistake. Wardlow saw Danhausen hiding under the ring. Danhausen was thinking of cursing Wardlow, but thought twice. In the meantime, Orange ambushed Wardlow with the orange punch. Back in the ring, Wardlow hurled Orange Cassidy overhead, halfway across the ring. Wardlow hoisted up Orange Cassidy with a delayed vertical suplex, then flung him into the mat. Wardlow charged at Orange in the corner, but Orange dodged it and smacked Wardlow's head into the top turnbuckle. Orange chop blocked Wardlow, attacking him, the champion's knee, and taking him off his feet. Orange was looking for the beach break, but Wardlow escaped. Wardlow attempted a powerbomb, but Orange countered with two consecutive DDTs. Wardlow punched Orange with an F10, somehow kicked out of the pin after F10. Wardlow was looking for a powerbomb, but Orange countered with a Hurricane Rana and then followed up with a Tope Suicida. He sent Wardlow into the steel ring post. Orange's diving DDT was intercepted, but Orange was able to put the champ into the stun dog millionaire and then the beach break for a near fall. I think we could say Orange hit him with everything, said Schiavone. Wardlow blocked an orange punch and then countered with a power bomb. Wardlow jumped on top of Orange and pinned him. After the match, Wardlow fist bumped Orange Cassidy as a sign of respect. So who's the next challenger for Mr. Wardlow? Holy shit. I swear to God, ever since I turned 40, things have just been fucking happening. Seriously. Chris Jericho comes out to address Eddie Kingston. Jericho, I stand out here in front of you tonight not as Chris Jericho, the sports entertainer, or Chris Jericho, the wizard, but Chris Jericho, the living legend, and Eddie Kingston's superior. I didn't make you a liar, Eddie, but you are a little confused. You challenged me to a barbed wire death match for your friends. Being friends with Eddie Kingston is a worse curse than anything Danhausen could conjure up. Ortiz, I shaved his head. Santana, we took him out of the blood and guts. Bryan Danielson, I took him out, and we don't know when he's coming back. Ruby Soho has a mangled hand because of you. You need to take better care of your chicks, Eddie. Why barbed wire? You're a mark for Terry Funk or Onita and Sabu. But how many barbed wire matches have you had? Because I won the first barbed wire match in Canada at a young age. I'm just as sadistic and maniacal as you. That makes me wet. Those words. I'm sadistic and maniacal. That makes me so fucking wet. It's not even funny. And yes, I said it. Go fuck off and grow the fuck up. As you, Eddie Kingston, but you underestimate me because of my accomplishments and a movie star good looks. But next week, you're not facing Chris Jericho. You're facing the Painmaker, undefeated in AEW. And that's not a lie. I'm accepting this match because this is it. This is the final fight in the Kingston Jericho saga. And when I'm done, you can crawl back in your hole. Deep down, you know you will never be Chris Jericho's level. If you want blood, Eddie Kingston, you got it. You said every drop of my blood equals one of my sins. Well, the only way that could wash away my sins is a tidal wave. If you want blood, you got it. Because, like I said, you're a liar and you're a loser. I want to address this Chris Jericho thing. I'm in an iffy situation with Chris Jericho. I really want to like him. I really fucking want to like him. But he could be a pompous asshole, which then still I want to like him. I'm actually looking forward to this match on Wednesday. I want to see what they're going to do. I want to see how both of them are going to work well with one another and to see how this barbed wire match is. If it's anything like we've seen in the early of the Attitude Era in WWE, I'm all for it. But not too gruesome, okay? Keep it classy, people. Keep it classy. Backstage, Kingston stood with Ruby and Soho and Ortiz. He told Chris Jericho he was going to hurt him and he was going to enjoy it. Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita. If Takeshita wins, he earns a future title match. William Regal joined in commentary team for this match. Moxley and Takeshita rammed one another in another shoulder strikes. It's like two rams ramming each other, said Regal. Takeshita chopped the champion's chest. Moxley returned the favor with a chop of his own. Moxley clobbered Takeshita with the King Kong lariat. Moxley spiked Takeshita with a pile driver. Moxley tried for the pin, but Takeshita kicked out at the 2 count. Moxley tried for a pile driver on the ring apron, but Takeshita fought out of it. Takeshita blasted Moxley with a German suplex on the ring apron. Moxley booted Takeshita in the head. Takeshita was busted open. Takeshita ran into the ropes and flew off of them with leaping lariats at Moxley. Takeshita nailed Moxley with a brainbuster for a near fall. Takeshita tried for a frog splash, but Moxley raised his knees and Takeshita crashed onto them. Moxley locked on a cross arm breaker. Takeshita got his boot on the bottom rope to force the ref to break it. The fans chanted, "This is awesome, this is awesome, this is awesome." Takeshita took Moxley down with a Hurricane Rana. Takeshita jumped over the top rope and landed onto Moxley outside the ring. Takeshita followed up with a frog splash for another near fall on Moxley. Takeshita and Moxley exchanged elbows from their knees. Moxley put a sleeper on, but Takeshita countered with a blue thunder bomb for a near fall. Takeshita looking for a jumping knee, but Moxley blocked it and countered with a Paragon shift. Takeshita escaped a Death Rider and countered with a German suplex for a near fall. Moxley headbutted Takeshita after the Death Rider and applied the Bulldog choke and forced Takeshita to tap out. "What a battle," said Taz. I hope CM Punk is sitting at home relaxing. He's not going to survive Moxley now, replied William Regal. The House of Black has a message for Darby Allin. They said they were after Allin and would get what was theirs. Now, remember when I just said that I get wet from sadistical, maniacal men, women, whatever the case may be? Well, I was thirsty. Well, this goes on to the House of Black. I don't know where this fucking happened. All right, I've got to talk to people here. I've got to get opinions. I've got to get a professional opinion. But ever since I turned 40, this shit's happening. Like I can't deal with a good a goody tooty, fresh and fruity, goody two shoes guy. I need a little bit of a bad guy in it, and that is what it is. I can't help it whatsoever. Luchasaurus Christian Cage walked onto the ramp. Christian Cage. Now, I don't know either of you from Adam, but there is something I find annoying about you, Varsity Blondes. Pillman is not even that stupid. Wait, is not even that stupid mullet you walk around with here. The thing, Pillman, just like Jungle Boy, you had a father, but your father was a legend in this business. That other people's words. In my opinion, he was average at best. I'm sure he applied appalled knowing that his final contribution in this business was you. Now, Griff, you went on social media this week and showed a picture. I'm not sure that annoyed me. What annoyed me about it at first, then it hit me like a ton of bricks. Luchasaurus, does Griff Garrison look like Jungle Boy? Luchasaurus stormed to the ring to face Griff Garrison. Luchasaurus splashed Griff and then rocked him with a German suplex. Luchasaurus smashed Garrison's head against the steel ring post with his boot. Per Christian Cage demands. Luchasaurus choked slammed Griff twice and then made Griff tap with a tar pit submission. After the match, Luchasaurus choked slammed Griff on top of Pillman, who had been laid out on the timekeeper's table. Luchasaurus smashed both of them through the table. Backstage, Silver Reynolds called out the House of Black from Rampage. This is going to be a match on Rampage. Jim Royce joined the commentary team for hour 2. The Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli versus the Jericho Appreciation Society, Jake Hager. William Regal joined the commentary booth again. Claudio charged Jake with a shockwave of European uppercuts. Claudio quickly looked for the giant swing, but Hager escaped. Outside the ring, Hager walloped Claudio with a clothesline. Hager tried for a Hager bomb, but Claudio blocked it. They're countering one another, said Jim Ross. Well, no shit. A great observation there, Watson. Claudio came around with the 619 kick to Hager's face. Hager had enough and came at Claudio. A different angles with forearms. Claudio dropkicked Hager's knees and then used a bulldog for a near fall on Hager. Hager had hoisted up Claudio with a double leg off the buckles, then planted him. Hager blistered Claudio with body shaming shots. Hager jumped off the ropes with the Hager bomb right on target. Claudio springboarded off the ropes with a European uppercut to Hager. That was taught to Claudio by Dave Taylor, said William Regal. Claudio is on fire right now, said Taz. Claudio connected with a huge cross body for a near fall on Haggard. Claudio used a giant swing and then stepped through with the Scorpion Deathlock. Haggard motioned for help, and Angelo Parker and Matt Menard hit the ring. They distracted Claudio so Haggard could plant Claudio for a near fall. These two gladiators who came to fight, said Ross. Claudio knocked Angelo off the apron, then waffled Haggard with a European uppercut. Claudio finished off Haggard with a Ricola bomb for the pin. That guy is an animal, said Taz. Lexi was backstage to interview Hook. She asked if a title shot was in his future with an undefeated record. He smirked at Lexi and walked away. Tony Schiavone interviewed Thunderstorm backstage. For a woman that lost to a relatively unknown, she's really fucking eating shit and liking it. I'm telling you. I'm so fucking telling you. She is legitimately like a fucking face. She's a fucking idiotic baby face, basically. So Thunder Rosa said she and Tony Storm are ready for any challengers. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Jamie Hayter interrupted them. Baker said that they knew how to deal with thunderstorms. Rebecca, Reba, Rebel, whatever. I'm going to call her Rebel from now on. Carried a sandbag and handed it to Tony Storm. Baker laughed and they walked off. The Dark Order, Anna Jay versus the Professor, Serena Deeb. Deeb grabbed Hammerlock. Deeb hit a shoulder block on Anna Jay, but Anna Jay countered with a flatliner. Deeb captured Anna Jay's arm, but Anna reversed it into a pin attempt. Deeb broke free, and Anna Jay tried for the Queenslayer. Deeb blocked it and hit a twisting net breaker for a 2 count on Anna Jay. Anna Jay attempted for the Queenslayer again, but Serena Deeb escaped and countered with a roll-up for a near fall. Anna Jay transitioned into the Queenslayer, but Deeb got to her feet. Deeb wrenched back with a Serenity Lock and forced Anna Jay to tap out. Deeb wouldn't let go of the hold until Ring of Honor Women's Champion Mercedes Martinez ran down. Deeb retreated for now, but Deeb will have to face Mercedes Martinez at Death Before Dishonor on pay-per-view. Yes, I will be covering it. Look for a preview or prediction at 2 p.m. and the review right afterwards. Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Sadamat Singh approached the broadcasting booth. Lethal said he'd embarrassed Samoa Joe at Death Before Dishonor. Tony Schiavone tried to interview Anna Jay after her match. Tay Conti interrupted the interview. You need to make better choices for your career, Anna. Think about it, says Tay. Now the main event. The main event. Oh, Jesus. My God. I actually was interested into this. I was like I couldn't take my eyes off my computer because I usually we watch TV, but I've been watching TV on this, which is great. I can sit, relax. I can go make myself a cup of coffee, go get something to drink. I don't have to go that far. So this is fantastic on my account. So it's the Young Bucks, Matt Nick Jackson versus Swerve in Our Glory, which is Limitless Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus Powerhouse Hobbs and Absolute Ricky Starks. Keith Lee and Matt Jackson began the match. Matt Jackson dodged a high kick and Lee. Then Matt tagged out to brother Nick. Swerve tagged in. Both he and Nick vaulted to the floor and got face to face. Nick slowed things down with a deep arm drag on Swerve. Starks tagged himself in and got quickly crotched on the top rope. Matt nailed Starks with a locomotion Northern Lights suplex. Keith Lee tagged in and he and Powerhouse Hobbs suplexed Matt Jackson. Lee suplexed Starks and Nick Jackson with belly-to-belly suplexes. Swerve followed up with a diving uppercut to Matt Jackson. This is where that he got a stinger. So I don't know if it was called by an audible or this was the plan from the get-go. We'll see in reports. Matt Jackson is sent Keith Lee out to the floor with a drop kick. Starks tags himself in and he and Hobbs hit tandem offense on Swerve. Keith Lee made the tag and splashed the Bucks and then splashed Starks in the corner. Keith Lee hurled Starks at the champions. Keith Lee is all man and a yard wide, said Ross. Nick Jackson jumped outside the ring, but Keith Lee caught him and then powerbombed him into Matt Jackson. Keith Lee was looking for another powerbomb, but Nick Jackson escaped. Powerhouse Hobbs tagged in, and he and Keith Lee collided. That's a match that I want to see ASAP. Keith Lee headed up to the ropes for a suplex, but Hobbs had butted his way out of it. Hobbs crushed Lee with a frog splash. That's the biggest frog splash I've ever seen, said Jim Ross. Starks walked the ropes and came off with a cutter on Nick Jackson for a near fall. Swerve and Matt grabbed tags and Swerve smashed Matt with a lariat in the face. The Bucks knocked Lee down to one knee with a super kick body. The Bucks super kicked Starks. Hobbs charged at the Bucks, but inadvertently splashed ref Rick Knox. Cutler tossed the tag belts to the Bucks, but Starks used it against the Bucks after misinterpreting it. Matt Jackson grabbed the belt from Swerve and waffled Swerve in the head. The Bucks hit the big TE trigger on Swerve, but Starks broke up the pin attempt. Matt Jackson ate a Swerve stomp, but the pin was broken up. Hobbs hit everyone with spine busters, AA style. For when it's AEW, it's AA. When it's WWE, it's Triple H. That's the rules here. My fucking playpen. Right on top of Keith Lee. Hobbs is the man, says Taz. Starks speared Nick Jackson. Matt Jackson tried for a super kick, but Keith Lee took Matt's sneaker off and hit the Bucks with a sneaker as Rick Knox was distracted. Starks hit Lee in the back of the head with a rabbit punch. Swerve jumped off the chest of Keith Lee, using Lee as a launching pad to take out the opposition on the outside the ring. Inside the ring, Lee pounced on Starks. Swerve finished off Starks with the Swerve Stomp, then pinned Starks. We have a new AEW World Tag Team Champions, and it's Swerve in our glory. So this Friday is Firefest continues, and we have the House of Black versus the Dark Order. That's it. And that is it, people. All right. Next weekend, Death Before Dishonor. I will be covering it. Look for my preview and predictions at 2 p.m. Do yourself a favor. Go like, subscribe, turn on my notifications so when I go live, you know about it. Please like and share every video. Also, do me a favor, go follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all of Mels Mat Chat. Also go friend me on Facebook and TikTok. Please go check out harrys.com for all your shaving and toiletry essentials. Check out Maestro Classics for all your beard essentials. Please go check out Liquid Death. Go get your sparkling water there. It's delicious. I drink it. Today I just chose to do Circle. I try to change it up every once in a while. Also, please go check out Death Wish Coffee. Check out those 2 new brews, vanilla blueberry and espresso. Also, go check out HOG Wrestling's, and there will be on Fight TV with High Intensity 8 at Terminal 5. You're going to see the debut of House of Black, and the debut of the People's Executioner, the Toll Man, the Killer Cross himself. Hopefully, he'll be bringing the smoke show with him. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Please go check everything out and get all the information. If you're going to be in the metro area, please go get your tickets at hogwrestling.net. Also, please go check out Outbreak Wrestling and check them on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So have a great rest of your weekend. I will be back here for episode 248 next Friday, and we're going to get you set for Death by Dishonor. Have a great night, Friday. Have a great weekend, and I love you. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.